All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the Monday Night Football Show. This week, another two-gamer with an extremely late game. So, Hoop and I might be the ones that go to bed earlier than our partner here, Title, but we'll see. I might not be able to stay up and catch this money. Hopefully, we can get some tonight for you guys, though. Hoop, Title here with me as always. We got Buccaneers at Hoop's Lions. Then we've got the Texans at the Seahawks. Hoop, I'm going to start with you. We got a Lions slate ahead. At least that's the first game for you. I don't know. You do stay up late, you said sometimes, but I don't think with this starting 11 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock Eastern, that's late.
Yeah, I'll be up. I mean, I'm contemplating going down to the Lions game. I haven't decided. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of live NFL unless it's like the playoffs. Like you get the playoff environment. I guess I'm a little spoiled now because the Lions have actually been in the playoffs, but regular season football doesn't get me as excited. So I might be going, and then if I go, I'll be up. I'll be in for the long haul. We'll see. Yesterday was a very interesting day. Going into the 4 p.m. Eastern games, I'd say I was probably the favorite to win the Millie. I was up there in second place, had CeeDee Lamb and Zach Ertz. If you watch those games, CeeDee gets the long touchdown. Zach Ertz scores a touchdown, and then I'm pretty sure after that they were combined like 3 fantasy points after their touchdown. So you gotta to win those things. You obviously gotta keep your foot on the gas the whole way, and it's like always exciting. You know, you start getting texts from people. I'm rooting for you, and then again, as soon as those texts started rolling in, I think I scored a combined like 3 fantasy points that team. So didn't work out for me. Tambo, you had the big night yesterday or big day. Congratulations on winning the 40. And it matched up, with our content. I mean, that was your core. You talked about it throughout the week. And I know specifically yesterday morning on the main slate show, we talked about that sort of build, the Justin Herbert stuff with, 1 or 2 wide receivers. And it worked out well. So congratulations there. In regards to this slate, I like these 2-gamer slates, a little bit different than the showdown. And if you like the showdown, you can still play the showdown. They have big prize pools for that as well. But you got one game where a majority of the ownership is going to go tonight. The Lions Bucks have all the guys that people want. And then you look to that second game, the Seahawks and the Texans, which again, if you're on the East Coast or even further where you are, 10 p.m. Eastern start, 11 p.m. Eastern start. I think our old buddy from DraftKings, John Aguiar, tweeted out like, who is asking for 10 p.m. Eastern Monday night games? Like it doesn't seem like it is the time slot that the NFL fans want. But hey, we got 2 games. If you don't sweat it out all the way through, maybe you wake up and have more money in the old accounts going into tomorrow morning. So excited to talk through it all here for sure. And a little bit of news we're waiting on. The main piece is definitely Ibuka. Like everyone kind of assumed he was out, and they said now he has a chance to play. It is the first game, which is nice. We'll have that news by at least 5:30 Eastern. What is it, 7 start? So by 5:30 Eastern, we'll have the news on Ibuka. And it does change the slate quite a bit if he's in or out. Like if he's in, takes away a lot of value, potential value on the slate. And if he's in, then he's definitely one of the better plays on the slate. So we'll talk through it all.
Javon Down, exciting game for the unemployed. Yes. Possibly. They got nothing to wake up for the next day.
Actually, my kids don't have school tomorrow, so I could grind it out. It actually worked out quite well. So I might grind it out either way, whether I go to the game or not.
It's see. More like the split too, the 7-10 Eastern. That's what throws me off. Is like usually it's like 8, 9, 15 and back to back, and you kind of good setup there. But either way, Title, what's going on, my man? How you doing? We got another slate. We're excited. Who cares what the times are, right? And the other thing is, if you want to go to bed early, like I kind of do, you can still get your late swaps in and then just hit the sheets, get your showdown lineups in. We'll have that featured slate covered over on the site as well for the showdown side of things.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be up, whether I'm playing poker, whether I'm watching. I'm on the best time zone. The wife's still back in Wisconsin. I got nothing to worry about. So I will be sweating these games fun game 7 in the MLB streets. Hey, get me ready for some NBA content too. I mean, tomorrow, a lot of late swaps. We know if you're in the NBA streets, you better be around till, I don't know, what is it, 11 Eastern most nights, whatever those late games lock. So just get me prepped for the grind. NHL still going, college football. I mean, this is the time. Bankroll management for everyone out there. That's a lot of sports, diversification, find what you're good at, what you think you're best at. You can allocate more. I listened a little to your show this morning. Shout out to Jordan Newens. It was always good to see him. You're with Matt as well. But yeah, you can allocate your bankroll to different things. You talked about more on FanDuel this week than DraftKings. That's sharp stuff. So congrats on the big win. You deserve it. And
Appreciate you.
Play that into today. A lot of money up top.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling. Exactly. That's what we want to do. But I do think that's so critical. Like, not many people talk about it that way. Hoop had been mentioning to me, like, each week, he's like, I kind of just been doing this on FanDuel. Like, I like this over there. And they got this couple tournaments. And then I just started checking them out. My guy Ham came through again. It was right in the Ham slate plan. The entire lineup was right there. So it is what it is. We use what we say we're using. We do it. Speaking of bankroll, allotting, like you said, like allotting your bankroll, $19, $19 from your bankroll. If you're trying to take this serious and play, that's what I would do. Recommend you get in. We just made a big announcement recently for Bellman coming over from Stochastic to our site to be able to do NBA stuff with our man Rio and Title and Ham and everybody else that jumps in there. And then we were just able to promote somebody from within, which is awesome. We got our guy BG Littleneck, who's been around since day one. We always want to do stuff with people that support us. He's supported us from the beginning. He's been here grinding it out in the Discord, posting his tower for Showdown. And so for NBA Showdown starting tomorrow, we'll have Monday to Friday, late slate Showdown coverage, his slate plan on top of all the projections, et cetera, that go with it. So congrats to him. Excited for that. I know the team is in the Discord all congratulating him now. So it should be a fun NBA season ahead. The 5 days gets you tonight, tomorrow, all the NBA stuff leading up through Thursday, with Thursday a big slate as well. So Hoop, I'll kick it to you. What is your first grand scheme overview when it comes to the slate here? Bucks at the big total is no secret. It's in the first game, right? That's the target type game. But what do you think about that second game and how this slate's going to play out as a whole?
I think the one thing that definitely stands out is what you just said and what I kind of touched on in the opening. Like, majority of the ownership on the slate will go to this first game, the Bucks and the Lions. The total is 53.5. The total in Houston, Seattle is 41.5. So you're basically right around 2 more touchdowns potentially in this game, 2 more touchdowns projected. Essentially, it's 12-point difference between the two. So a lot of people are going to want to go to this first game at basically every single position, besides maybe wide receiver. The wide receivers in that other game, the wide receiver ones will get some ownership. The next thing that definitely stands out to me is you have 3 teams on the slate where multiple running backs are involved. Like, Rachaad White is kind of the only guy on the slate that is going to get all the work. Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously different story. You know, it's not a split between him and Montgomery. And even if it was, the guy just gets so much work, it really doesn't matter. But there is a split there. You go to Houston, got Nick Chubb, Woody Marks. You go to Seattle, Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, and they've been hell-bent on keeping that a pretty even split. So the running back position, I think, is probably the most important one to talk about on the slate, just from the standpoint of the uncertainty. Like, when you play a running back, you want to know that guy's getting a majority of the work, and there's only one running back on the slate you can say that about. I guess, I mean, you can probably say it about Gibbs too. The split has been way more in his favor this year and probably will be moving forward. But again, David Montgomery is there. He can vulture touchdown. So for me, that's, very important. Wide receivers, I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers. We got the Buca news. We'll talk about that when we get to the wide receivers. And then tight ends, nothing to pay for. Very weak position. Sam Laporta is the most expensive at 4.3. And then you got Otten, Schultz, Barner, and you're just saving money at the position. There's no doubt about it. So, those are kind of my main things. But like the one thing for sure, it's like everyone's going to want to be involved in that first game, some way, shape, or form. The Bucks and the Lions, 53.5 total. And like I said, basically 2 more touchdowns are projected to be scored in this game versus the later game.
Yeah, that makes it a huge factor to start things off. And then we'll have any news, like you said, as far as news goes, we'll get that right away. So you got this one up here. Didn't Campbell say he wants to get Monty more involved this week?
He did. Yeah, he did say that. I mean, that was a direct quote from him. I mean, not a direct, but something right along those lines where he said he wanted to get Montgomery more involved. So that's true.
What's your experience with him as from a coach speak perspective? I know it's a lot.
I think it's legit. I mean, I think they definitely, and that might not come at the hand of Gibbs. Like that might not just take away from Gibbs. It might just mean more of them on the field together. Because you can use Gibbs in a variety of different ways. So I don't think it's necessarily going to take away anything from Gibbs, but I do think Montgomery is we'll get to it at the running back position. I think he's a strong play on this slate for sure. And that does, that comment does boost my outlook for him for sure.
Definitely going to be listening to your running back takes. Not only did you call the Brownies win, I gave you the flowers on this morning. It's incredible stuff. There's literally nobody seriously anywhere that has the ability to tell you it's not a week for someone and then handpick their next one, whether it's popular or not, doesn't matter. It's not this time, it's this time. Nobody better at doing that than who? Yeah. Literally 3 touchdowns from Judkins, the Brownies W, everything, the bet you had, all the stuff you had to go with it. It sucks. Another Millie couldn't go with it, but at the end of the day, that's still something special that you do.
We definitely nailed that spot. We're not big on the sports betting stuff. I don't bet like 30. Like these sports betting guys are insufferable, man. Like the stuff, and the best part about the sports betting guys is like they'll throw out like 30 bets, and they're going to obviously highlight the winners. But then there's like very rarely do you see anything to go along with it to prove that they're actually betting this stuff. Like anyone, like, oh, it's so easy for me to say I went 7-0 betting, but if I put $0 behind it, like it's meaningless. Like these sports betting guys are such frauds, a large majority of them out there. And we pick our spots, and I pick my spots. I don't pretend to be an expert sports bettor, but everyone says, I'm capped on this site. They won't let me bet more than X dollars. I could bet $1 million on any site I want. And it's because I'm not a successful long-term sports bettor. And I'll be the first to admit that. Like if I'm betting on sports, it's for entertainment purposes. That being said, when I do fire, I fire pretty hard, and the brown spot seemed very, very clear, and it hit. And we move on. I hope people followed along with it. And that was just, to me, a very obvious spot, very obvious play. Browns D. I got to give a little credit to our guy Landa. He's been a big supporter of ours since day one. He's nailed these defensive calls too, and he was kind of pumping it on Twitter. And I know he was in the chat, so I want to give some props to him. Absolutely nailed it. They got the defensive touchdown as well, and then the Judkins call. I mean, now we can go back to the real name. We don't need to call him. I mean, we had a bunch of different names going last week. Buckins, Cheekins, I don't even know. We were just throwing anything in front of it to slander the guy. And we got back on it in the right spot. So definitely worked out well. I didn't have any Judkins 2 weeks ago. This week had a ton. And although the stat line is did have the one long run, but outside of that, it was like nothing. He was like 3 yards per attempt. Like I still don't know how good the dude is, but he got the job done for us yesterday. And he has a massive workload. I mean, 23 carries? That's the most important part for sure.
Yeah, the touchdown variance was what everyone was so hyped up and going on and on about. This is funny, like people talk about their kids or bitch about their kids, and someone says, "Hey, congrats on the sex." It's like, "Hey, congrats on the winning day." You're withdrawing. Just says it's lagging hard on DraftKings. Some people said FanDuel down as well. They don't want to let us take that money out title. But anything from you extra to add on to the grand scheme overview here?
Well, first, the Montgomery, the talk, it kind of reminds me of last year, the Tim Patrick hoop on the radio. I don't know when he go in the gym and stuff, Tim Patrick. So maybe this is something like that. As far as the Judkins stuff, I mean, first of all, these coaches are donkeys. Dable, fucking Arizona's, dude. I could go list on and on. These players fight so hard for 46 minutes of the game, and then 1 or 2 just negative EV decisions put you hold back. Like it's crazy that these guys can keep getting away with this for so many weeks till they get fired. But yeah, that's another story. Judkins, yeah, their scheme, like a halfback dive. Let's have everyone just all piled in and have them run up the middle 20 times. Like it's hard to break anything. This dude is a good football player. Quarterback sucks. Scheme sucks. He's just lucky the Dolphins suck even more. Grand scheme overview. I go look at the positions right now. Like you touched on it, the first game, the total, all the ownership will be there. Goff and Baker, I have projected for like 3 more points than Stroud, Darnold at least. So they're clearly would be higher owned. Gibbs and White, 7-8 points higher than the next. Montgomery, Walker, Charbonnet, they'll clearly be high owned. Amon-Ra, JSN, 2 of the best receivers. Evans, Nico, then you get a pretty big drop off in terms of projection. Tight end Laporte in a tier of his own. Schultz, Otten, then you got like Barner and no one else. Salary is pretty tight, at least comparable to earlier in the year. So you will see 4 receivers in the flex. You will see 2 tight ends in the flex. I don't think it's just 3 running backs like some slates. Defenses, because everyone wants that first game, I think that leaves Seahawks defense pretty popular. That's a grand scheme overview.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more too. I think Hoop said it with like the running back stuff where there is like the Chubb Marks thing, the Walker Charbonnet, the Gibbs Montgomery, obviously a popular spot too, but with the Rashad White stuff, you will see a lot more people because of JSN and Nico Collins in that second game that do want to go 4 wide receivers, no problem, because there's cheap ones, there's expensive ones, whatever, but running back could end up be something really important here that decides the slate. Our man Nick, shout out to him. Appreciate him always. He says, I guess you have to have stuff to withdraw, to have withdrawal issues. That's actually a Monday motivation thing. I'll tell you something real quick, and then we'll get into the game, to the positions. I always used to say this. I always used to say it's always something. Like something would always pop up. It's like, oh man, it's always something. A lot of people say that. It can't be something if you don't have something. Like that's part of it. You usually, like when people say like money problems, that's not what this is about, but just noting it. Like if it's always something coming up, it's because you got stuff on the go. There's lots of people that have nothing. So we talk about it a lot here. It's not like some preacher thing, but just to note it, be grateful, right? It is pretty wild, the stuff that we get to do. And for us, we're very grateful for everybody that watches this, tunes in, supports us. We get to do what we love and can't say thank you enough for that. We don't say it enough. So thank you guys out there. We appreciate you. All right, Hoop, let's go to the quarterback position. You got to go to this game, by the way, if you're only considering it. Like you have to go. It's the potential MVP Baker Mayfield versus your Lions. How are you going to miss out on that live? You got to go.
I don't know, man. Like so many people, such a hassle getting in and out. Like the problem I have with live football, and I've been saying this forever, like it doesn't matter where your seats are. You can have the best seats in the house. Like you're never going to have a good angle of the play that's going on. Like I guess if you have 50-yard line seats, then yeah, when they're in the middle of the field, you might have a good angle. But like when they get towards the end zone, you immediately have a bad angle. Like watching football on TV is a million times better than watching it live in person. Yes, the environment is much different. It's hype. That's why I said like the playoff stuff, it's more enjoyable to be live because, you know, you feed off the fans. It's a cool environment. But for like a regular season game, like my ass would rather be at home watching the football game on my TV, sweating the action I have. And, you know, it's hard to sweat the action at these games because the service is never all that good. So I don't know, man. Like I'm leaning towards not going to the game. Mrs. Hoop wants to go to the game. The kids don't have school tomorrow. But, man, first off, like the prices are insane, like for these games. It's like I'm relatively frugal when it comes to this stuff. $500, $600 for decent tickets. Like I don't want to spend $2,000 to take the family down to the Lions game tonight. So I'm leaning towards no on that, but we'll see.
I know Hoop very well now, like these last 2 years particularly. I can translate that for you. Hoop is not going to the game. Solved.
Yeah.
Now you all know he's definitely not going. So go ahead. Maybe
you did.
But I think that's the answer.
Yeah, you do know me pretty well. And yeah,
the little spiel that he did there was to get to like, yeah, he just doesn't want to say it, but he's being honest.
Yeah.
Here you go. Anyway, go ahead.
There's a lot of reasons why I should go, but I'm not going to go.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely want, in regards, we're just going to, positions, talk quarterback here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true, though, actually. Yeah. If I did ship to Millie, I would have found a way to go. That would have been like the celebration. Probably would have grabbed a suite or something down there and made it real fun.
My guy, Nadir.
Yeah. Oh, he would definitely hook it up. Actually, yeah. I thought of him today. I was leaving the gym and I saw a used pack of Royal Honey on the ground. And he slings the Royal Honey. So like, why are you in a gym parking lot pumping Royal Honey? Like maybe I'm missing out on something. I don't know. So Baker and Goff are going to be the highest owned quarterbacks on the slate for sure. Let me just pull this up and kind of see what we have. Yeah, so Goff's looking, we have it at 35, Baker 25. I would say, I'd say probably even more. 65% of the quarterback ownership probably goes to these two, and it's probably more on the side of Goff just because that team total is sitting right around 30 for Goff and the Lions. They're both fine options. If you're building a ton of lineups, yeah, go ahead. If choosing one, I'd probably take Baker over Goff. I just think there's more upside. You get the rushing a little bit, and then the potential of them maybe playing from behind. Baker obviously is going to look a lot nicer if Ibuka is in. But either way, I think I want Baker over Goff. He is more expensive. Goff is going to have more ownership. I think that's probably pretty certain. Yeah, like a bunch of everyone basically has Goff getting way more than Baker. I will say I do like the Goff Baker ownership. So Sabre has it like 37% Goff, and then Baker at 30. So that kind of puts it at that 60. What is that? Yeah, about 67, 68 number. And I think that's probably pretty accurate. I think that's kind of what you see, the combined ownership between these two. I'm not, on these 2-game slates, sometimes I'll just X guys out. I don't think I'm going to X any of these quarterbacks out. I think I'm going to play Stroud and Darnold to some degree. I don't know who I would X out. I think everyone, if choosing one to X out, would be Stroud, but I don't think I want to do that on the slate. I think I'm going to include him in there. And Darnold's had big games. He has the number 2 wide receiver in the NFL. He has JSN to throw the ball to. He's had massive games. So I'm definitely going to include him. But I think I'm playing all 4 of the quarterbacks to some degree. Yes, it will be definitely more Baker and Goff, but I'm not going to exclude Stroud or Darnold. I'm going to keep them both in the player pool.
You got him with another 6-7. 6-7. You said.
Did I say that? Did I say
600? But or 67%, but it's close enough to.
I got bad news.
So 6-7.
My son had basketball yesterday afternoon, and I guess the new one's 4-1 now, 41. Yeah, you're on top of all this shit. You're shaking your head. You're
I'm not on top of it.
No. I'm talking to Tambo. He's shaking his head. Yes, he's on top of all the new trends.
Would have to explain.
I know you're not. Trust me.
Yeah. This one hasn't hit Canada yet. So last night I was trying to hype the kids up. I was like, you better get ready for 4-1. And they're like, nah, I don't think so, Dad. And I was like, trust me, you got to get ahead of the curve on this one. I don't even know what it means, but be on it. Tell somebody tomorrow 4-1 and see what they say. He said that
our teacher's got it. Yeah, Derek's got it. He's got I can't remember what grade he teaches, but he's probably right in the thick of it with these kids.
Tambo's kids, the cool kids at school, because Tambo's teaching them the new language before it comes out. A week later, they're like, "Yo, you were on it."
Yeah, that's the one, man.
School,
we got high school. Yeah. He said he's in high school. These guys know they flip their hands, palms up for 6-7, palms down.
Show us, Tambo. Show us what they're doing and say it. Like this, and they say,
show me. I'm definitely on this. I got enough videos weekly coming out about me. That's the last thing I need clipped up is this thing. So I ain't doing that.
Oh, it's gotta be so bad. So I feel so bad for our guy Derek, because I coach 11, 12, 13-year-old kids, and it's like twice a week and for a couple hours, and then on the weekends we have the games, and I am gonna lose my shit over this. Like, he's there he's grinding this 40 hours a week with this 6-7 and 4-1 stuff, man. That's I feel for him. I definitely feel for him.
Wild world that we're living in. But Title, I'll go to you. I guess.
Oh yeah, he's coaches the teams too. Yeah, he's screwed. He's totally. I feel so bad for him.
3 basketball teams, a football team. Yeah. The one thing I want to ask you is about the Baker mix with running back. Like, obviously we're waiting on some news at wide receiver, but like that's got to be part of it, right? I think for sure Rachaad White will be popular, and so that's like sometimes people don't want to play him. Now on a short slate, there's obviously going to be Baker and Rachaad White lineups blended, but I think that's kind of interesting because we will see Goff with the home team total and the more stackable options probably more popular, but it feels like the Buccaneers would be the best beneficiary of that on the other side. So what are you thinking about Baker and then the rest?
Yeah, I like Baker. I like the 2 highest I'm going to play in Goff and Baker. I like you can play him a lot of way. Rachaad White, you can easily play him with him. 3.5 receptions prop, -133 on the over. If he catches 4 balls today, that's 4 points right there. 40 yards, there's 8. Like Rachaad White's a good pass catching back. Baker's just an absolute gamer. He finds the right spots. This is all assuming I'm right now, like in projections are assuming Ibuka doesn't play. If he plays, we'll tag everyone in chat. You should definitely rebuild. But yeah, without Ibuka, probably maybe an extra reception or something can go his way. I like Baker a lot. I like Goff a lot. Yes, it's the chalky route, but as Hoop said, there's less than 70% right now still owned. I can get roughly 40% of both, be overweight or at least with the field on Goff. And yeah, I'll probably be under Stroud, Darnold. Don't really have a strong lean. Like, man, it's just so concentrated with Darnold, which is fine. Like, it's just all JSN, it feels. But if you do want to get really low owned, you can go to like the Torrey Hortons of the world if you want to go Barner. So you can do it. I feel a lot better with the options for Detroit and the Buccaneers. So I'll be more chalk at quarterback.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that I think people got to realize. That'd be my, quarterback. It's part of my grand scheme overview mixed with my quarterbacks is the first game is the best game. I don't care. Anything can happen in any game, but it's just like it's clearing away. You'll be able to see it if you got the any type of package for SaberSim for that matter. But if you have this contest sims, you're definitely going to see it. Like there's going to be good versions of that second game. If you have a full portfolio, yes, you're going to be mixing some of those in, probably underweight stances for the most part, I think, with a lot of people. But the thing about the first game and why it's so important to remember this is because the first game has a ton of ways to stack it. So you don't actually have to worry about like it's too chalky versus the second game. Like maybe overall, yes, but it's the target game because of it's just way better on the slate for that and the possibility of upside. So when I get my other lineups, it'll be an underweight stance in the portfolio. I still like the Stroud side better, and really not for much reason outside of the fact that it's Collins, it's JSN, put Stroud in. But the bigger factor for me is everyone's stacking in the first game and just jamming the Seahawks defense since they're the home favorite and they don't mess up the stack on the other side. But in a game stack like that, first of all, we've seen games like that go back and forth heavy and the defenses still score 15-20 because it's just the way it goes. It's part of the scoring, and that speeds the game up, all those factors. So you can actually have those Ds in those quarterback game stacks of Goff and Mayfield with Bucks or Lions. But I also like just going against the Seahawks D, and you can do it multiple ways, but I'm saying I'm definitely going to be stacking up probably like a Stroud, Nico, JSN or something like that and do it that way. But I think there's definitely going to be opportunity when it comes to that. So that's how I see the quarterbacks. I got Goff, Stroud, Mayfield, then Darnold, and Goff, Mayfield, Stroud, then Darnold, but Stroud far and away ahead of Darnold. And I think the only reason the Baker stuff is what it is because it's, if the game gets sped up, obviously very easy to use him. I also think there's some interesting builds with Baker tonight where you can have like Baker, Rashad White, Tate Otten, and then use a couple of Cowboys that you really like. That will make it affordable, still keep you in the game stack, and still allow you to get flexible with that second game or adding more pieces to it if you want, but just trying to pick off that end zone sometimes. And we'll get the Igbuka news, so we'll know, but especially if he's out, because everyone just assumes, well, then it's a big Mike Evans game. The ownership goes up even more. And it's like, they can just dedicate, again, big boy, hard to stop, but they can try and dedicate more resources to that. Whether or not it'll work, we'll see. But I think that's certainly a possibility. Then you can try and pick up all those points from Baker, White, and Otten. Hoop, go back to you, man. We already had the running back talk a little bit. You already had your, title gave it the talk radio version. I don't think this one was from that, but it has been out there. You listen to that a little bit. So Gibbs Montgomery is one thing, White's another, but anything in those other two games or for those other two teams in game two?
It's tough. I mean, oh God, I mean, you look at it, yeah, Gibbs and White, I think people are going to get as much as they possibly can of those two, and it makes sense. I mean, White can get there in any sort of game, like them playing from a lead, a neutral game, them playing from behind. He'll get the goal line work. He'll get the passing down work. Like, he'll get everything. He's going to be very popular. Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best running backs in the league. And then David Montgomery. I'm hoping that Montgomery stays close in ownership to some of those other guys, because I definitely like him as my number 3 over any of the guys in the next two games. So for me, it's Gibbs and White in a tier alone. It's Montgomery in a tier of his own. And then it's like the group of the next 4 are in a tier, which to me is a big question mark. Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, Woody Marks, Nick Chubb. And for me personally, like, I don't have a strong lean at all on those guys. So I hope you guys have some sort of take. And if you don't, I don't really care. I'll just go ahead and run it, and whatever I get, I get. Like, I just don't have a strong preference. And again, this is a spot where curious to see what you guys say, but I'll be playing 150 teams, and whatever I get for Walker, Charbonnet, Marks, Chubb, I'll probably just run. And if it's not a lot, I'm not going to manually bump any of these guys up at this point, unless my mind's kind of changed. It just, I mean, the Walker and Charbonnet thing, I mean, they seem dedicated to the split. I mean, you look at the workload, it seems like it's almost 50-50 right down the middle. Last week, Kenneth Walker had 11 touches. The week before that, he had 11. This is just the last 2 weeks when they both have been healthy. It was 13 touches for Charbonnet, 10 for Charbonnet in week 6 and 5. So, I mean, it's literally about as close as you can get to 50-50. Like, you're just basically playing with touchdown variance, like who gets the touchdown if they have the ball at the goal line. And it's tough. And then, Woody Marks and Chubb. Title had the great call on Marks a few weeks ago where he went off, but they're kind of back to splitting it up and totally fine with doing that. I mean, let's see, last week Marks got 7 carries, like 7, and then Chubb got 11. So it's tough, man, with these 4. Big emphasis for me though on those top 3. Gibbs, White, and Montgomery, who, again, a lot of people will view Montgomery as the same as those other guys. For me, it's Montgomery way above those other 4, and that's how I plan on doing it today. I'll keep those 4 in the player pool, and whatever I get. Kind of the same take I have with, like, defenses a lot of time on Showdown. Like, I'll run my teams. If I get some defenses, cool. If I don't, cool. It's kind of how I'm playing these 4 as of now.
I think also, too, it'll be a much lower – again, we look at this in Showdown with like 5-1s versus 4-2s title versus all these different build constructions. If you had it sort of played out today, I think you'll see the least amount of 3 running back than we usually see on these slates, because usually there's like 2 studs and somebody else. Here, I think people are comfortable just picking 2 from that first group of 3. And then you have Evans and Egbuka. You have Amon-Ra. You have Jameson Williams. You have Jackson Smith and Jigba. You have Collins on top of all the Cup, Horton, Higgins, Hutchinson's, etc. So I think it's going to be different. And then the double tight end, we'll get there later. But would it help? You could talk on running back now because Hoop just went through it. Would it help to know that today Kenneth Walker turns 25 years young? It's his birthday today.
It seems like from all the reports during camp, his body's like 35 years, actually. The dude's getting held out for maintenance and this and that. No, I'm the last guy that'll ever get behind a birth. The only narrative you can really talk me into is a lot of the times in the NBA, when I think this guy will take an extra 6 more shots, like a point guard or something. When they have the ball, they bring it up. Like baseball, no narrative. These dudes always, you get 4 chances. Football, actually, I do believe the narratives like Gronk needs 6 catches to get his bonus. I mean, they on the sideline, yo, Brady, I need 1 catch for this. I believe stuff like that.
Well, you saw that Mike Evans, was it last year? Where they were
Mike Evans.
Yeah, the Mike Evans thing. Yeah.
I believe stuff like that, and then basketball on certain occasions. No, birthday narrative. Yeah, I'm not. I know you joke about it too. We joke about it a lot here, but that does nothing for me.
We don't have a show called Narrative Street on the SHIPIT Nation channel, but I will say that's the one people love bringing up, and I had to get that one in there. You know, they love a good birthday narrative. Yeah,
no, that's for sure. I do definitely agree with you that it's probably the lowest 3 running back in the flex, and I kind of am on the same page. I don't think I'm playing much. A lot of it just has to do with like people that have the stone. Go look at it in the second game. Look at the report card when it comes to rush defense. It's not a good spot for either side, and they're splitting carries. So going against tough rushing defenses with guys that are splitting, it makes it tough on this slate, especially when we get to receiver. There's a lot of guys, like even like we'll get to Tesla. Can't wait to keep saying his name, but like random guys that are on the field that I'll just probably rather take shots on them. A lot of them are cheaper too. White, clearly my favorite. I think he's one of the most mispriced guys on the slate. Gibbs looks great. Montgomery looks great. And after that, I'm not playing Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet together. I'm not playing Woody Marks and Nick Chubb together. I'll play one of them in some teams to get a little different. I hope they'll be the guy. To be honest, though, I don't like any of them. At ownership, I think I want to be underweight to all 4, which then gets me overweight to White, Gibbs, Montgomery. And I can get different at the flex or the defense or receiver or something like that. So, yeah, pretty chalky takes for me. The first 2 games, I'm 150, and though I'm going to upload it. Like I said, I'm hoping to play poker. I'm hoping like Buka's out. Nothing changes right from the show I upload. And right now it's Montgomery, White, Gibbs that I'm overweight on.
Let's get the 2 touchdowns for the birthday boy. I don't know about 3. 3's a lot.
Let's get 0. Let's have none of these dudes on the optimal.
Well,
You're on mute, Hoop.
I don't have to use the laptop if I'm already asleep.
I said, please give me 0 for all 4 of those guys.
Yeah, you're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 0. Who is scoring points in the second game is going to be the question. I mean, the
JSN.
Give me any of the pass catchers, and I'd be thrilled. I don't even care. Cooper Kupp, any of those dudes. Sign me up for that shit, not the running backs.
It depends on how you look at it. But the other thing too that makes it just even more, like I said, the awesome part I think is like, again, people can overlook it, whatever. But the first game being so obvious, the fact there's a million ways to stack it, and realistically in the second game, you've got 2 different running backs and bad, like 2 good defenses. Just could be slog type game that way. But it's like, okay, JSN and Collins are going to fit into those lineups anyway. But if it's a Hutch, Higgins, Kupp, Horton, Barner, Schultz, like again, you can name that for every game, but for that spot, it definitely makes it tricky. If those guys in the first game get their points they're expected to get, then it's like really spread out and what could be a bad game too. So I'm okay with that angle of it, Hoop. But from a wide receiver perspective overall, outside of the obvious with the Igbukah news, what else are you seeing? Our man Derek earlier said this could be the Jameson Williams game.
Yeah, I don't hate that call. I mean, looking at this, I mean, we kind of usually go by team when we talk about the wide receiver. So I'll kind of do that and go through each team, kind of like in that format. But I mean, the Buck stuff is fully dependent on what happens with Igbukah. Like if he is in, it's Mike Evans, Igbukah, and then maybe you're mixing in some Tez Johnson or something who had the big play. But if Igbukah's out, then Tez Johnson and Sterling Shepard become priority plays on the slate. And I want a lot of exposure to both guys. I think they're both phenomenal plays on the slate. But if Igbukah's in, then we lose some really good value on the slate. And that's, to me, like where I look at like Tez Johnson and Sterling Shepard, and you're deciding who you want in the flex. Like I would take chances on these guys over those running backs in the later game. So I mean, the news on Igbukah definitely changes the dynamic of roster construction, the dynamic of what you play at wide receiver, and we should get it at 5:30. Now, a lot of sites are projecting him out as of now. I just don't know why they would come out and say he has a chance to play if they don't really think it's truly a 50-50 situation. So I hope he does play. I mean, even as a Lions fan, I want him out there playing because I think the game is better overall. So I'm hoping he is in. We'll see, but it definitely changes the dynamic of roster construction on the slate.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, I want him to play. I want more big name guys playing. Lions side, I mean, Amon-Ra, I think, Jameson Williams is a really good play. I mean, Jameson at 5K is very cheap, 70-yard touchdown upside. Highest total, obviously, highest team total on the slate. Like he could definitely go off at 5K. I think he's a great option. Amon-Ra, and then just can they get our guy Tesla in the mix a little bit more? I mean, I think he's very talented. They just refuse to get him going, and I guess it's probably tough. You got Amon-Ra, you got Jameson, you got 2 running backs, you got Laporta. They'll even throw it to fucking Brock Wright over our guy Tesla. I mean, at some point, and for the sake of my best ball teams, I hope Tesla gets going a little bit more. But on 2-game slate, you can definitely play him. I mean, him, getting 3 for 30 and a touchdown could be what you need on the slate, especially if Igbukah's in and we lose some of the value at the position. So I'll keep him in there. I mean, I'm not going to play a ton of them, but I think he's fine for a 2-game slate, 2-game flyer. Going to the Texans, no Christian Kirk, who, I mean, I guess at this point the dude just can't stay healthy. I don't even know what's the injury. Well, tweak his hamstring on Friday. It's not looking good long term for him. But Nico Collins, obviously great play. Hutchinson, Higgins. I mean, you can play a bunch of these dudes. I mean, Higgins, Hutchinson, Noel. Probably kind of mix all those guys in. I think it looks like Higgins is the guy getting the biggest projection, so maybe it's him. But I think you can play all of them. And then with Seattle, three-man booth really with JSN, Cooper Kupp, and then Horton as a cheap option. And the one thing for sure on the slate, like you look at this second game, and the highest owned pieces are definitely going to be Collins and JSN. I mean, they're household wide receiver ones. But yeah, definitely wouldn't be surprised if one of these secondary wide receivers gets the job done. And whether it's one of the Houston guys or Cooper Kupp or Horton, I have a weird feeling about Cooper Kupp tonight. Maybe it's him. He's what, 4,800. Let's just look at his involvement. Oh gosh, 3 targets. Yeah, maybe it's a little rough, but yeah, I'll say it's Cooper Kupp still. So, yeah, I mean, wide receiver, a lot of ways to go, but we definitely need the Ibuka news, which we're going to get before the slate locks.
I like the Kupp call. I think that's definitely interesting because it's going to be what, the 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe the 5th highest owned, maybe even the 6th, depending if we get Ibuka in, because you got already JSN, Collins, Amon-Ra, Mike Evans. If we get, he'll still probably be behind because I don't know, Title. What do you think? Like, where do people go if we get Ibuka out? It's going to be, I know where they go. So, I mean, what do you think that ownership does to Kupp? Because then they'll still probably want to put the cheap guy in before they'll want to put Kupp in like that random $4,800 zone in. I got to think it's close at least. So anyway, 5th or 6th, probably highest owned, if not further, depending on what the news is. And he definitely can be in play here, especially it's not like the Texans pass D is bad either. So as good as JSN is at getting loose and getting open, you could see a spot here at 3,100 less or whatever it is, where it's like a Cooper Kupp spot. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just been so tough for me to click Kupp's name for a little bit. I mean, the first read on Darnold on a run-first team, the first read is just so clearly JSN, and he just always feels open. And now with Horton in the mix and getting Barner, I don't love it. So I'm a little different than you guys there. My favorite receiving room clearly is the Buccaneers if there's no Ibuka. Like in a game that they're trailing in the highest total where Baker balls, like I don't think they're going to have too much success running through in the tackles for Rashad White. So I think Baker's going to drop back a ton. And you have 3 clear guys. Mike Evans, he's my favorite receiver on the slate at 6,500. Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard, 3 guys that you know will be out there a ton. Baker will get them the ball. Tez Johnson, we saw him break loose last time, an insane backflip. Really funny too if people are listening to thinking the MVP chance or his in that. But by far my favorite receiving room right now, assuming no Ibuka. After that for the Lions, Jameson Williams, one of my favorites too at 5K. Like maybe this projects wrong or feels different, but I think I could see J-Mo outscoring Amon-Ra more than I see Kupp outscoring JSN. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. Projections have it pretty similar, but 5K, I mean, it takes one play for J-Mo to get loose. So he's one of my favorite receivers. Yeah, the Tesla, the Horton stuff. The thing with, Hoop nailed it. Tesla has overtook Raymond of playing more snaps. He's out on the field more. He's definitely better, but there's so much competition, not just J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Laporta, Montgomery, Gibbs, on top of, who's Skipper? Like Dan Skipper, what's his nuts? Campbell tries to get him a touchdown.
He's back on the squad now. He
played.
They cut him and then put him on the practice squad and called his ass up. He's back,
and he was good. I mean, they were hyping him up against the Chiefs. I think he got Chandler Jones work a lot. He played a really good game, but I saw him out there. So just long story short, Campbell, it's just so tough with this guy. 10.5 receiving prop. It's harder to click that name. Like if I'm playing Goff and it's really chalky, you can play Tesla. If you're playing Darnold that's really chalky, you can play Horton. If you're playing Stroud, there's Higgins, there's Noel, there's Hutchinson, there's Nico. Higgins is definitely my favorite of the bunch at ownership and price. I mean, he was good at Iowa State, a 2nd-round pick. He's cheap. I think he's going to overtake Hutchinson. He's played way better since the bye. So I think it's Higgins, clearly. Props show that. And then I think I prefer Noel. I just don't really know what to do. There's still enough guys in that receiving room. Noel also a rookie. He's the one I might manually bump. I do think I prefer him to Horton, Tesla as guys that are getting no ownership down below.
Get that double dip on, man. That's what they're talking about right now. That's a possibility actually right there.
That's we didn't single games that I focus at. But yeah, 2 games you can still do it. But it's more of a joke for me at this point.
Yeah. We tried it yesterday. Mims with the Broncos D. The Broncos were the more expensive D that failed compared to all the other Ds we crushed and nailed on. Those felt good to have a nice pool full of really good defenses, for once, and just have that go your way. But definitely think that's interesting. Do you know much about the
secondary
and Detroit? I'm assuming. Yeah, they're light tonight for sure. Branch is out, and Terry and Arnold is out as well. And I don't know. I think Terry and Arnold sucks. I think he's very overrated. I mean, he just gets destroyed out there when teams throw to him. Like if I was an opposing team, I would throw at Terry and Arnold all the time. It's either usually a completion or a flag comes out. I think he's really shitty. But yeah, they're going to be thin. So another reason to definitely like Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. Like they're thin in the secondary. Again, I don't know like if Terry and Arnold being out makes that big of a difference because he's got his ass handed to him on many occasions ever since he really came into the NFL. So, but yeah, either way, like when you're down starters, it's not good.
We don't make mistakes very often, but when we do, we're able just to work right through them. It was I don't know what happened. Like maybe on these custom mice, if you call them that. I don't even know this shit anymore. Anyway, this mouse that I'm using, it had like a button, and I think it just refreshes the page, and I didn't know that, and I hit it by accident. So my bad.
Didn't even notice. Didn't even notice you're gone.
Mice. Is that it?
Yeah. Isn't it multiples? Isn't it plural? Like.
But when you're referring to a computer mouse, do you use that term? I guess that's
what it is.
We need our high school teacher Derek back to get us straight on that.
Derek, you got to let us know. I think mice is referring to plural, like the children were at their computers using mice, but I was at my desk using my mouse.
I got what you were saying. Yeah, I just didn't know that was it. I mean, it's been a long time.
It's a mouse. It's definitely a mouse. Yeah, like mice is plural or something. Anyways, we got to move on. This is too much. I'm make one quick mistake and then it turns into a whole thing.
I don't know if it was a mistake. I generally was just curious. I have no clue.
That's usually for the end of the show. The mice versus mouse. What's it gonna be? That's like a new YouTube short.
Looks like you were right.
Yeah,
there
you
go.
Definitely more than one. Yeah.
And he knows stuff. Danny's coming to join us on Friday. He said Friday he's getting the promo, ship 19. He's gonna get in the mix with us and really get in the Discord and start talking shit to Hoop about this Vikings versus.
Yeah, last year was way more entertaining because the Vikings were good. This year they're not so good. Although they hung in there a little bit yesterday, but still lost.
Yeah. All right. What else we got? The wide receiver stuff. I'll talk through it quickly because you guys kind of hammered it out. But I think the cup thing I'm not as concerned about. Like I guess for me it's tricky, but like somebody said too. I guess we've talked about this before, but I just keep thinking back to like the one Philly game when everyone's it's got to be AJ Brown and then Dotson beats him. Like on a 2-game slate, anything can happen. JSN is the best player going. He's still too cheap at 7,900. Since Puka went down, I still think he's been the best receiver. And even that week that Puka was 8,700 and got injured, we were saying he was the better play at 7,600 for $1,100 less. It's like they just weren't bumping his price and he's getting all the action. Tonight would be an interesting night to move away from that and look for different angles. I think there's Nico Collins on the other side. There's a ton of value plays. There's the Cooper Kupp on the same team. Jamison Williams, big. We know what he is. He's going to be a boom bust guy, but when he booms, it's very valuable. Guess where it would be more valuable? On a 2-game slate. So that's the type of stuff I'm looking at. I liked your call with that title. I don't know yet what a balanced build would look like tonight, which would be kind of interesting, especially if we do get Igbuka out, where it's like all of a sudden Tez and these guys are awesome, but even Tez 4,200. Like he's not like he's 3K like Moore was yesterday for Washington. So something like that could be interesting and would change the build pattern up quite a bit if you had like a Kupp, Jamison Williams. But I think then people got to be comfortable leaving money on the table as well. We know most people aren't, but anybody using an optimizer or setting their stuff up that way should be in a better position. So I think that makes it somewhat interesting. I like the Baker side anyway. We've seen so many of these spots where Tampa Bay just goes off, and it gets even easier if there's more cheap guys that are able to be involved. Harder to pick through them, but easier just to siphon through if you're going overweight to that game and on that side. So you said it for Houston. That makes it a little bit tricky. I think Houston's the scariest one because outside of Nico, and it might not even end up being Nico because that's just how this stuff goes sometimes. It's a good spot for them to pass against, but it's then what? Like we saw Hutch get in the mix recently. We saw, Higgins, Noel, Schultz, there's Woody Marks. Like, I don't know. It just feels really tricky. And I don't think people are going to really go crazy. Well, everyone will do something. There'll be people that do overstack it, but I mean, there'll be people that overstack it and get other stuff wrong too. So how many people overstack it and get it all right? That's tricky to figure out. So don't have too much else to add, no standouts, but I did like Hoop's Cooper Kupp call there earlier, so I'm going to stick with that. Tight end, Hoop, I'll go to you because your guy Dalton Schultz is on the slate, but what do you got from that perspective?
Tough position. I mean, yeah, I think people are just going to naturally go to Laporta at 4,300. He's cheap, gets you exposure to the top offense on the slate, but it's not like a slam dunk play by any means. We've talked about it a lot with the Lions offense where there's just so many different guys. There's no way they all get there. You got 2 running backs, you got, 2 primary wide receivers, you got the tight end. Like a couple of these guys aren't going to get there. And, I'm fine with Laporta. But you're just playing him because the position sucks. It's not because you love Laporta today. You're playing him because there's just no, true star tight ends on the slate. So again, Title said it earlier. He's building, 150. I'm also building 150. I'm obviously going to have some Laporta. If I was hand building a team today, would it include Laporta? Probably not. It would include probably Dalton Schultz. You guys know the thing, but I mean, no Kirk. I mean, look at some of these wide receivers. Dalton Schultz, I believe, has 0 touchdowns on the season. Now we're talking a 2-game slate, so everything's relative. But targets continue to be there. 5, 4, 6, 6, 6, 5 catches in his last 3 games. Like, if he finds the end zone today, he's probably the tight end you need. It's probably 5 for 60 and a touchdown. That is boom, boom, boom. 17 points? You guys can correct my math on that. If it goes 5, 60 and a touchdown, 17 points, that's probably the tight end you need or the guy that you need in flex. So just do what he's been doing lately and find the end zone. And I think we're good. I like Schultz. I'm fine with Otten. And I actually like this Barner guy too. Barner looks good. Like, he definitely passes the eye test. Like, so I like double tight end teams today. I definitely like double tight end teams over 3 running back teams, unless it's like the top 3, unless it's, Gibbs and Montgomery and Rashad White. Obviously that doesn't correlate great having Gibbs and Montgomery, but I'd be fine with it on this slate. But I like double tight end teams. And I think Barner's fine at 33. I guess the last playable guy would be this Arroyo guy who they throw the ball to as well. But my favorite's definitely Schultz. Something tells me Barner could get the job done as well. Laporte is fine, but again, if hand building, I think I prefer like the other Detroit options over going Laporte at tight end.
What's the touchdowns for? I think he's got more touchdowns last game than Laporta's got, right? Or he had the 2 touchdown game or whatever for Barner.
Yeah, Barner had, what did he do? He had 2 weeks ago. He had 2 touchdowns. 7 for 53. He's got 4 touchdowns on the season. Dude's a big body. I actually like him quite a bit. I think he's a good play tonight.
Yeah.
Laporte has 2. Laporte has 2 touchdowns on the season. Barner's got 4.
Yeah. Tonight's the night where Elijah Arroyo finally gets busted out. We've been waiting for this spot. Now this is the one, right? But I do think it's like you said, it's a bit of roulette, but it's also, I think, a part that you're going to have to get right. And there is a potential. It could be 2 of these guys to bulk up everything else. If it ends up being that you need an expensive quarterback, White, Gibbs, plus the top wide receivers, it could very easily just be the tight end roulette that ends up mattering. And it's kind of like the best running backs came through as expected. The best wide receivers came through as expected. Now get the tight ends right. That's what we could see.
Yeah, and I will say, just looking at it, like slow start to the season for Otten, but the last 3 weeks, 4, 5, 6 targets, 3, 4, 5 catches. So I guess similar argument to Dalton Schultz. Like he gets a similar workload and finds the end zone. He's probably there. So Otten's definitely a better play if Ibuka's out. Like there's no doubt about it. But if Ibuka's in, you can still look to Otten. But yeah, maybe if Ibuka's out, it is Otten that we go to. I don't know. I like these. I like the tight end position today, I guess.
Yeah, the Otten thing is going to be really interesting, especially if Ibuka's ruled out because
he's always there.
There you go. He's out there all the time. He just showed that. But also what I said earlier, it's like it's just an automatic thing. He's actually less money than Tez Johnson and Shepard and those other guys. And obviously they're good plays for that reason, but it's always hard to figure out who slots in what role and then what does the defensive coverage look like and all these different factors that end up happening. And sometimes it's just the game that we play and you just move to the tight end position. It's a onesie position. It's a guy that feels that he makes their life easier. If the pass rush is coming at him, different things like that, you could see it work out. So I like the Otten call either way. But title, you got anything else you want to add there at the tight end position?
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with Hoop. Like, these tight ends are the best plays, in my opinion. You got 4 of them that'll be on the field a lot more than these wide receiver 3s in the same price range. Like, Laporta's less than Sterling Shepard. He's only 100 more than Tez Johnson. All the other tight ends are less than these guys. If Igbuka does play, it'll make these tight ends even higher owned because we'll lose the Sterling Shepard, the Tez Johnson. Value will be so gross. And then what is a popular double tight end slate right now will be even more popular. And then from there, you gotta find ways to get different. Maybe if that happens, I just try and embrace the second game more, which doesn't feel good and not something I'm doing right now. But the options would just be a lot more limited. People would get more in like tunnel vision. I love all 4 tight ends. I think I can get overweight to all 4. I can get overweight to double tight end. I can leave money on the table easier with tight ends because any of these guys can outscore Cooper Kupp. Any of these guys can outscore Jameson Williams. They're on the field at the end of the day, which is what I want. So, yeah, I love tight ends.
The double tight end lineups is messing around over here definitely do look pretty good on a 2-game slate like this when you want to bulk up some of those receivers. Obviously, it gets beat up a little bit, or could, if you end up seeing guys like Williams, like J-Mo, Kupp, the cheap wide receivers, all that stuff, they start coming through, then obviously that messes that up. But at least building and on paper, they still look unique enough and also project well enough that it probably makes a ton of sense. So definitely think good call on that.
It's not tight end day, but it was tight end day on Thursday with good old Freiermuth and Jonnu and Washington. And I mean, who the heck else was out there? Any tight end. If you were a tight end, you were catching something. Let's hope that's the day today.
The best about that slate was that everyone kept telling me it was over. And it's like, actually, like any of these guys override each other. And then Freiermuth just overrode all of them with the last catch that he had too. It's like, oh man, he just crushed. And that was
such a good game. Rodgers and Flacco. Now we get Rodgers and the Packers Sunday Night Football. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, and this is coming up. This is the
That's
upcoming
next week, I think.
Yeah, I think I don't know why. Is it? I know it's usually they talk about it, but then it has been on a Sunday. I thought for some reason I saw this that it was something else, but it should be the Sunday, right?
It's Sunday. 26.
But my you guys know I always make fun of narrative stuff and sample size, but I typed in NAT into my Google search browser and it said National Tight End Day. So maybe it's the AI, who knows? But 4th Sunday of every October is how they make it easy on you. So that's the one. Shout out to our man Go Collect, says he wants to give away a month membership courtesy of Primetime DFS in our Discord. So yeah, do it up. Let him know. I know somebody was asking earlier just about the plans. You can pick somebody, Go Collect, or we could wait. Yeah, it's up to you. But somebody asked earlier about like the 500 lineups versus the 5,000. If you just woke up from under a rock, we are partnered with SaberSim. We have the Winner's Circle partnership with them, so you can rock the SHIPIT Nation logo and win up to and including the Rolex, sponsored by SaberSim, so you can get in all the same action that you have over there, but then get all of our content on top. It works out to about half price for our content if you were already with Saber or with them before or with another company that has them or something like that. But the more lineups is your pool of lineups that it can pull it from. The 5,000 lineup pool, though, is with the ultimate plan. So you'd really be paying more for the contest sims. The best value is the starter plan, even at $139, because it's $97 at Saber. It's $139 with us. You're paying like $1 and a little bit more per day to get all of our offerings and our Discord and SHIPIT games and all those things. But this is the plan that Ship19 works on right now the best, where you can really still get 500 lineup player pool, portfolio diversification, the additional niche slates where other people, don't have all these different projections for all these other sports and things like that. So if you want to check it out, highly recommend you do so. You can go over to shipitnation.com, use code SHIP19 and pay less than $20 to get in for 5 days. NBA coming back tomorrow, all that as well. Hoop, anything else you want to add, man? Kickers, D's, I guess kickers are for the showdown slate later, but defenses, you kind of just spin it around. Is there anything else we missed when it comes to this stuff?
Just to touch on the defenses quick, I think, a lot of people just go to the defenses in that second game. Yeah, they're looking to be much higher owned. Seahawks, Texans. The one thing to keep in mind on these 2-game slates, or I guess maybe just like in general, even if you are going heavy on the offensive side of the Lions and Bucks game, the defenses can still be the winner. Like, it just takes literally one play or, maybe a bunch of sacks or something, but really one play on defense, and that's the team. So offensively, the Bucks and Lions can get there. Well, one of the defenses does as well. So don't feel like if you're going heavy offensively in that game, you have to avoid those defenses. The ownership on that second game at the defensive position is going to be, probably 70% of the ownership. We're showing, right around 70, 65 to 70. I'll still have some Lions and Bucks defense for sure. But, logically, if you're playing heavy Bucks offense and Lions offense, you're going to want to go defense at the other spot. So it does make sense, but I wouldn't fully exclude Bucks or Lions.
Yeah, one of the biggest things for me is even more than usual against. Some people will do oh, well, I'll let the defense be against one guy on the other team because JSN, the Seahawks could get shut out, but JSN could still get 7 for 150, and that's just his game. And it's yeah, that's true. But also, AJ Barner scoring a touchdown wouldn't necessarily kill you either. If you like the Houston D in this example, they could definitely still crush. They're in a good spot. You could see JSN and Barner. JSN's a bunch of catches and yard bonus and just beats the other receivers. Barner scores a touchdown. It's either good enough at tight end or it's a two tight end lineup. It makes sense. And Houston D could still pin him back and do a ton of different stuff. Get a pick six in there, crush out Darnold for 6 sacks. Who knows what that looks like? My point more so being, you can use the D against a bunch. You could have a game stack of the Bucks and Lions and play the Lions D. And it's at the end of the game or in the fourth quarter, they've already done something, but now Baker makes another mistake and they are really just puts the nail in the coffin, ends the game. It's still a huge scoring game, back and forth. It's just the way it ends. Think about Washington, Dallas yesterday. And I know it didn't go off from the defense perspective, but that type of game. And it was partially because of a Jaden Daniels injury, but it was back and forth until it wasn't. And then at the end of the game, there was still a ton of points to be had in different places, but just not the ones we all needed them. So it's the way it can go. You just got to keep that in mind when you're building on these slates. Leave money on the table. It's kind of like Showdown. There's definitely a spot where you could just have, Egbuka out, a lot of people on Mike Evans, but it's Sterling Shepard day. And again, you'd be able to spend elsewhere with that money, but knowing where it goes exactly won't always be the case. As long as the lineups built out, makes sense, and can get there, that's kind of what you're looking for. Title, any final thoughts from you on the slate?
Yeah, just defense. The Lions defense is the one that makes sense. I could have 3 Buccaneers and still play the Lions and onslaught that game. I mean, they're 6-point dogs. I don't think they have too much success running the football. If the Lions get up 14-0 or something early, 50 dropbacks from Baker, it's a lot of opportunity for the Lions to do something. Still a lot of 3 interceptions or it doesn't even, there's not enough negative points in my opinion for interceptions and stuff with quarterback. I've been saying this for a while and season long and stuff too. You're just not penalizing enough. A pick 6 from your quarterback sometimes is the best thing to happen to you in a fantasy game because it has to speed it up and it has to drop back more. So that's the one spot, Lions defense, that I can play a lot of that game, still play them while I'm even playing Baker and stuff. And very few do that, which is another way. Showdown, 2-game slates closer to Showdown than it is a main slate in terms of Dupe Sports, roster construction that way. That helps you get different. And yeah, we will have, me and Rio are doing the NBA show tomorrow. If you want to do that, go collect. You can just hit me up or Rio and we can do that.
Yeah, that's definitely perfect. And also, I think he put up 70 or whatever. We'll just round it up and get them into the core plan so that they can have Saber as well and just charge the difference. So just hit up title, send it to the PayPal, and then we'll roll it from there. There's our guy, by the way. Shout out to BG Littleneck. I'm going to bring it up because NBA is coming back tomorrow. This will be all updated, but we've got you covered. We have projections, ownership. They are updated like every other site that you think is the best out there. That's fine. Oh, your own opinion. We're biased, but I'll just say it's updated to lock. It's one after the other. It's right through game set after game set till the final game of the slate, completely dialed in, reflecting everywhere. We have the stone. We've got the slate plan. We've got Showdown, and our man BG Littleneck, who I got up on the screen, he's going to be taking over the towers that he was putting in Discord. We're going to have the Monday to Friday featured late slate where he's got that tower right on the site now. So you can go there. It's very easy to understand. If you're new to the NBA streets, maybe you work a full-time job and you don't play the main slate. It's that's a bit much for me, but I'd still like to get a little bit of action each day. you could play like an $18 lineup every night or a $15 lineup and a satellite or something like that and just get in the showdown streets. But ton of NBA coverage coming your way. There is a full NBA education course as well that you get included free with every membership. You access the course here. Me, Title, Hoop, we all did this together. Process, roster construction with the late news, the injuries, optimizers, FanDuel versus DraftKings, live final reviews, member Q&A, all the questions you might have. This is included free with your membership when you can come over. So you can get in tonight, get ready to go, get in the streets tomorrow. Hoop, anything to add on that stuff?
No, sir. Love to have you. I mean, come on over. Good momentum right now. Things are heading up in the right direction. Going to get one of these real big boys here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hopefully tonight is another big night, but just already a really good week for the community over at SHIPIT Nation. We had our guy Jay Bannock had 100K plus stacks. There was a 15K score, 5K scores, 9K, $100 into 10K, just on top of all the other screenshots we saw throughout the Discord. But definitely the time is now, like I said, to get in. So check it out, shipitnation.com. If you guys have anything else, just hit us up. You can send me a DM or shoot us up if you need anything, but this should be it. Oh, I did see one person ask there. Actually, I want to hit that quickly. This is a full partnership, Matt. So SaberSim is well aware of this. We had this when you were brought over as well. You can definitely just switch, pay the difference or whatever with us. Just hit us up, info@shipitnation.com, or shoot me a message. We'll get you all set up, but it's all broken down. Both sides are fully taken care of to make sure you get what you're actually looking for. So hopefully that helps. Anybody else has any more questions, just let us know. For Title, for Hoop, for myself, ToeTagginTambo, good luck tonight, and let's ship it.